So we are filming episode 12 of Building the American Dream. I am here with Justin Groff, owner of JIT Lawn Care out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and we're going to be finding out a little bit more about Justin's. So tell me a little bit about JIT Lawn Care and what do you guys do?
Yeah, we are a full residential and commercial maintenance company out of Indianapolis. So anything mowing, landscape maintenance, tree work, fertilization, we do all of that kind of stuff with multiple crews that we have. So that's what we really specialize in. That's our niche. We don't do any of the hardscaping, pergolas, patios, kitchens. We kind of stay away from as much as possible because it's just not our bread and butter, and just takes a different physique and type of
Stick with what you're really good at.
100%, and then just replicate it honestly, throughout the city and wherever the Lord takes it.
Sure, that's awesome. And so I gotta ask, you're obviously a young guy. Well, how did you get started, and what is your why? I always find it important to find out an entrepreneur's why. Why did you ever get into lawn care?
Yeah, so my parents were both very entrepreneurial, and honestly, it was mainly because I love being outside. Really, that was the start of, mowing on a Sunday morning. I was just going to church with my parents, and they mentioned, hey, you guys, you need to start doing something, Justin, I was 9 years old at the time, okay? So this is I'm a young buck still. But, they told me you could do car detailing, power washing, mowing, and I'm just well, I guess mowing kind of intrigues me. They had a push mower already. It was a crappy one, but it still worked. And started mowing their front or their lawn, and then as well their office, my mom's office, which is a small commercial building.
At 9 years old?
At 9 years old, yeah. Okay. And my dad kind of controlled the Facebook page within the Windermere Fishers chat. So he would take pictures of me, videos of me. Sure. So it would slowly start to grow from, that to customers, from 5 to 10 to 20 to 50 to 100 customers to 500 customers. It really exponentially just started to take off throughout high school, and especially after COVID. It took off like crazy. I just kept mowing and, literally would grind from, morning to night, during the summers, 16-hour days, literally get up at 5 a.m. and finish up at 10 o'clock. Wow. So I was doing 100 lawns by myself, walking them, Walking, that's an exercise. And as things kind of started to grow, we started to hire more full-time help. Separate from part-time, hiring guys from high school, which a lot of people do. That's how I started, and then getting those full-time workers truly helped and really scaled to actually have legitimate crews. Starting with 3 crews, then went to 5 crews, and now 10 crews. So. Wow,
so there's 10 crews running right now.
Yeah.
Wow. So if there's a listener out there that's looking to maybe hire somebody to have their lawn mowed, you're out of Indianapolis, and you mentioned Sheridan a little bit. What is kind of your service area? Where would you look for clients to grow?
Yeah, so generally our main service area is obviously the north side. That's where our shop is located in Sheridan, but we service all over Indianapolis. We have property management clients, we have residential clients, all over the city, and we try to stay as close as the 465 belt as possible. To really eliminate travel time as much as possible, but that's our goal.
As we were kind of getting to know each other a little bit, that you are starting another venture as well called Radiant Networking.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Radiant right now we're getting together vetted home service pros that are local to Indy only. So trying to stay away from the big wigs and the guys that are private equity based. We just want to have local grassroots type of companies based out of Indianapolis, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, landscaping, junk removal, roofing. We want the best of the best in their space to first off build community, and then as well we're building, or have already built, a referral ecosystem where companies are able to share real opportunities within the network without losing those moments with customers they're already working with. So there's a lot to Radiant. This is just the kind of the beginning, but the vision's big for it, and we have 90 companies already in the network already. So it's been growing like crazy. We literally just launched it a couple weeks ago.
And there's already 90 companies within the network.
We're really careful on who we're bringing in because we have a certain criteria. Because again, we don't want anybody, you know how Angie's List or Home Advisor will just bring in anybody based off reviews. It's more than just reviews. And any company can pay, you know, for a 5-star review. So
100%.
you know, we're just trying to keep it closed and really tight and operate with a high standard.
What are some of the struggles as you've scaled and kind of grown as a small business owner?
Yeah, it's easy to talk about like the things that are obviously working well in business, but nobody talks about like the behind the scenes, like transparently what is going on that's not easy at all. So I would say like in the beginning for me it was hiring. Obviously I mentioned like hiring full time was really hard. And I really tried to do my best to find quality people. The Lord blessed me to find quality people within the Latino network. And we still have a lot of Latino based workers too, and we try to, you know, help them, and not only them but their families too, that are, you know, a lot of them are at home in Nicaragua, Mexico, Honduras, and you know, giving them an opportunity to you know, give them an opportunity to work and help their family out and the people around them out. So that was one aspect of the struggles. And the second aspect, I would say, like as the business has continued to grow, we've had, I mean, cash flow problems is always is in a revenue type of area can always be hard to get to the next level and scale. So like infrastructure, making sure receivables are in on time, you know, from customers, because in our business, like we invoice after we do the work. It's not like you get paid on the, you know, the job. So it's a totally different process and system than other service companies, and you know, making sure that you get the receivables on time for payroll, trucks, you know, equipment. I mean, like all the overhead, like you got to make sure that's on par. So you know, I'm trying to strive for excellence and a high standard for the customers and, you know, employees, and and so like that's all I can do, just give it my best. But
you mentioned something there that's an interesting thing. You're competing against some big competitors out there. What is something that would separate you from them? Is it being a little more of a boutique type shop? What is something that you guys do from a lawn care perspective that you think is an advantage to choosing you over maybe one of those big guys?
Yeah, I think communication is huge, and a customer experience, basically from when the customer contacts your company all the way into like a review and like, you know, the work being done, you know, getting invoiced and everything between that is really good customer experience. How do we replicate that even more? But through that, the communication has to be on par, and that's what we really strive to do. Even with quotes that come in, we try to give it out in, you know, 24 to 48 hours or less, because a lot of companies are giving them out in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. If you were talking to a listener out there, maybe a young person where you were a few years ago, and they were wanting to start a business, or you were talking to an entrepreneur out there that's thinking about taking the leap and jumping into business, do you have any encouraging words or any tips that you would tell them, the goods and the bads, about starting a business?
I would say just go ahead and just figure it out and do it. Like you don't have to figure it all out all at once. I found out having mentors is really crucial. Having people who can coach you along the way. Doesn't have to be in your industry. It can be like in anything, you know, real estate. It can be they're an investor, they're in your industry. I mean, I've had it all. So I've been very thankful for the mentors and the people have coached me along the way to get to this point. And it's still just the beginning, you know, we got a long ride. I'm still young, trying to figure it out, but there's a long way to go. And I'm just thankful to be on the journey. But I would say, you know, just ask questions, be curious. Being curious is so big, just like learning everything. And you don't have to know everything, but just learn everything. You just want to be an avid learner, be the dumbest person in the room. Like that's how I try to, you know, remind myself and humble myself. And the last and most important thing, keeping God first in your business. If you don't keep Jesus first in your business, it's not going to be easy. I don't care what road and how big you're trying to go. Like there are still challenges that are going to happen. Like with whether you want to be $1 million company or $1 billion company, there's always going to be challenges. and it's just a level of those challenges that you're going to be enduring, and you need Jesus. I don't know how people can like go through this life in this world or even building a company without the Lord. And I'm thankful I've known him and have a true relationship with him. But through this journey, I have built my relationship with him even stronger than past religion. You know, it's not a religion, it's a relationship. I feel like a lot of people get that mixed up and messed up, and it's a true relationship, just like Ryan and I talking here. Even though you can't see Jesus like physically, like you can see him working, and he's still alive today.
That's actually one of my last questions that I always ask is how has God and Jesus influenced your life, whether it's your business life, personal life, your marriage, whatever. And I think you just kind of hit the nail on the head. And it really comes down to we're and I say it almost in every video, we're not designed to handle all of the pressures and things on our own. I just want to say, as one small business owner to another, you know, how proud I am of you. And I know we don't know each other. Today's our first day meeting, but but really just how proud I am to see a young person out there grinding every day, building something and a passion since they were 9 years old, and continuing to build the business. So I wish you nothing but the best of success and the best of luck. And if there's any listeners out there in the Indianapolis or northern Indianapolis area that are looking to have their lawns taken care of, mowed, make sure you look this guy up. Justin's a great guy, and at least from what I've known of him. And look up JIT Lawn Care, and stay tuned for Radiant Networking. It sounds like that's going to be taking off here very soon. So really appreciate the opportunity and to get to know you a little bit. So thanks for tuning in to episode 12 of Building the American Dream.